Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. This is Lowcarblish and I'm Jacqueline. If you're new here, this is a channel where we take and make low-carb versions of our favorite high-carb foods. Make sure that they're diabetic friendly too, because most of the people on this channel are trying to reverse their type 2 diabetes. Today we're going to be making a squash casserole. And I started thinking about this because it's been really cold here in Georgia the last couple of weeks. And we actually got about 2 inches of snow here last week. And my mom's birthday was last week, and she would have been 83 if she was still here today. She's been gone 3 years now. But this is her recipe. And she used to make this all the time, and she would add little variations to it. But we're just going with the basic recipe. And I'll talk about some of the things you can add to it as we go along. But today we're going to keep it simple and quick. And don't worry about the amounts, because I'm going to put everything along with the recipe down in the description as usual. And if you hear little chicky feet, it's because Macy's running around. She's had her dinner and her walk, and she's waiting for her puppy ice cream, but it's too early for that, so she's going to have to wait just a little while. Hopefully she won't be too rowdy while we're making this video. What we're using today is 1 pound or about 6 cups of yellow summer squash, and it's just finely, thinly sliced. I use my food processor to do this, but you can do it by hand. You can use a grater, you can use a mandolin, whatever you've got, you know, that'll help you slice it up, or if you like doing it by hand, go for that too. I've got half an onion, also thinly sliced. I've got 1 cup of Colby Jack cheese. I've got a half a cup of combined 1/4 cup Parmesan Romano grated cheese, and the pork rinds that I've crushed up. And I crushed these up by hand because I wanted to have a few little bigger pieces just to get that little extra crunchy on top of the casserole. But you can totally put them in your food processor and grind them up like breadcrumbs if you want. And if you're not a fan of pork rinds, or you don't like pork rinds, you can just use the cheese without that added into it on top. Just make sure you make an adjustment for your calories and your carbs when you do that. I've got a half a cup of sour cream here, a tablespoon of butter that we're going to saute the onions and the squash in. I've got salt and pepper and coriander. And coriander is optional, but I really like it. It lends a real, like, almost sweet flavor to the casserole. It's just really nice. But if you don't have it, don't worry about it. You can just use salt and pepper in this and you'll be fine. And then I've got spray oil that I'm going to put in the pan when we get ready to bake this, because like I say, we're going to mix everything up in this pan, transfer it to that, and that's easy peasy, not too many dishes to wash up. So let me get set up over here by the stove, and when I get the camera set up over there, we'll get everything going. That's Macy's new wiggle wall. We'll get everything going, and we'll have this ready in no time at all. So I'll be back in a minute when I get back to the stove. Okay, y'all, so we're over at the stove getting ready to get everything going. I forgot to mention I've got my oven preheating at 350 degrees. So before you start making this, heat your oven up to 350. Basically, get down, baby. Heat your oven up to 350 so it'll be ready to go when you get through with the squash and everything. So like I said, I'm concentrating on quick, easy, and paying a little homage to my mama. Because this was her recipe. She used to take this recipe and do all kinds of things with it. Sometimes she would even put a can of water chestnuts in there. And if you decided to do that with this recipe, I looked at the calories and the carb count on water chestnuts. And water chestnuts are a little bit carby, which kind of surprised me. I haven't really eaten them since I've been eating low carb. But if you use the half a can in here, and you could leave them sliced or you could chop them up, whichever way you wanted to do it, it would add about a carb per serving if you added them in there. But like I say, they're totally and completely optional. They just add kind of a nice, interesting crunch. And we had it like that a lot when I was growing up, and I enjoy it. But like I said, I'm trying to keep this as low carb as possible, so I didn't put them in this recipe tonight. Alright, so I've got my butter melting here, and all I'm going to do is put the squash in, And you're going to need, you know, a pretty good size pan to cook all this in, but it will cook down. So, and don't put any water in it, guys. That's one thing. My mama, she was so adamant about this, and it's really true, because I've had other people's casseroles that had a lot of liquid in them. They're just not as good. It kind of waters down the flavor a little bit. So we're going to cook these just like if we were cooking squash and onions to just serve as a side dish. And after you get your squash and onion in the pan, we're just going to add the salt, the pepper, and the coriander. And like I said, the the coriander is completely optional, but it really does give a nice, sweety sort of, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, it's a very sweet, mellow taste that it adds to the casserole. And if you love coriander, you can put more than I've put in here. I think there's about a teaspoon in here. And you can add more than that if you want to, but it's not very high in carbs. So I like to keep it around a teaspoon, but if you want to add some more, you totally can. We're going to cook these down like this, and it usually takes anywhere from 20 to 20 minutes, or 20 to 20. Usually takes anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes for me to get everything cooked down. And what we're looking for is not that brown scorch look that we have sometimes when we do a side dish here in the South, because we love to scorch our vegetables down here. But we are looking for the onions to be translucent and the squash to be very well done and tender. And even though I haven't added any water to this, when I get through cooking it, I'm still going to put it in the colander, because you'll be surprised that there's still liquid in here, and we want to get rid of all of that before we mix it up and put it in the oven. So I'm just going to let this cook. I'm going to stir it down. When I come back, it'll be ready, and then we'll put the rest of the stuff in the pan and get it ready and pop it in the oven. And before you know it, we're going to be eating some really good squash casserole. So I'll be back. Okay, y'all, so I've cooked this. It took about 20 minutes on my stove, and I've cooked the squash down, and I brought my little strainer over here because I just want you guys to see that I will be getting some more liquid out of here when I press it down. And it is important to get that out of there if you want your casserole to be nice and creamy and not too runny. So I've got it in my strainer here, and I'm just gonna press down on it a little bit. And it's not gonna be a ton of water, but it's enough that it would make a difference when we get through here. So my mama did it, so I do it. And normally, like I say, if we were serving this just as a side dish, it wouldn't be a big deal. But because I want my casserole to be nice and creamy and not too runny, I get rid of that. And so you can sort of see, I've still got water coming off of it, but I've got the majority of it out now. And I'm going to put this back in my pan because we're going to mix it all up in our pan. But I just want you guys to see, that's a good bit of water coming out of there. So anyway, I'm going to put that over here. And now I've got the squash back in the pan. And we're going to add in the cheese. And like I said, this is a cup of Colby Jack cheese. I prefer the milder cheeses in this. You can use whatever cheese you want. If you're one of those people that like really sharp cheddar cheese, I've done that before with the cheddar cheese, and to me, and it's funny because I love extra sharp cheddar cheese sandwiches, but for some reason in this casserole, I don't like it. It's a little too sharp for the squash, and I want the squash flavor to be the star and not the cheese. So anyway, I've got my cheese mixed up in here. I'm going to add my sour cream in. And it's just a half cup of sour cream. And if you don't have sour cream, you can do this with mayonnaise too. That mayonnaise also works. Alright. And this is going to make 6 nice servings when we're done. So I've got all the stuff mixed up in my pan here. And, oh, I almost forgot to spray my little pan. I'm filming by myself, and I'm trying to make sure y'all can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to scoot this over here so y'all can see what I'm doing. And y'all, I appreciate you being so patient with me. Jenny's not going to be back for a little while, and she's dealing with some stuff with her family. Everybody's okay, but she's dealing with some stuff right now. So I'm just going to spread my squash out here in my casserole dish, and this is a 9x9 dish that I have. You could do it in an 8x8 if you wanted to. It would work just fine. And like I said, the oven is preheated to 350. So we're going to pop this little thing in the oven, and I'm going to come back. It needs to heat through about 20 to 25 minutes, and everything's already cooked. So we're not cooking it per se, but we want to get heated through. We want that cheese to melt. I know it's going to be delicious. You got to wait. Shh. Okay, y'all, so it's been about 15 minutes now, and I'm going to pull this out, and we're going to put the topping on real quick and pop it back in the oven for about 5 more minutes, and then it'll be done. Oh, it looks so good already. And like I said, if y'all are not into the pork rind topping, some people are not, just use your cheese. I just got the grated Parmesan Romano this time, but you can use plain Parmesan, whatever floats your boat. You do you, boo-boo. Alright, watch out, baby, it's hot. Macy's been so good and patient, I'm going to go ahead and give her her puppy ice cream. Let me get it out of the freezer. Let me set my little timer here real quick because I don't want to forget my casserole. Let me get her ice cream out of the freezer. I'll be right back. Come here, buddy. Come here. You want your puppy ice cream? Oh, that's delicious. There you go. You guys, if you've got dogs, this stuff is called Dogsters, and they have it in a mint flavor, which is her favorite, and they also have a peanut butter flavor. So I can find it at Publix and Ingles and Kroger here. I don't know, what the grocery stores have where you are, but if you can find it for your dog, they absolutely love it, and it's just frozen whey, and it's healthy for them, and it's just a really nice treat. I don't give it to her every night, but I give it to her when she's been really good and when she's had a training day. And today she's been really good and she's had a training day, so she's getting a little treat. Okay, y'all, so our casserole's ready. I'm going to pull it out of the oven and let you guys see it. And there we go, y'all. I hope y'all can see this. Let's see if I can get a little closer view for you. I'm doing the best I can, y'all. Can you see that? Does that look good? It's really tasty. So what I'm going to do is let it cool off for about 10 minutes, and then as soon as it gets ready, we'll plate some up and we'll be eating some casserole. See you in a few minutes. Okay, y'all, so it has cooled down, so I'm going to dig in here and show y'all this casserole, and it is so good. I'm going to plate this up tonight, and I'm going to have a chicken leg with this for my dinner and enjoy every bit of it. And you can see here, I hope you can see here, it is so nice and so creamy, and the squash is just such a lovely flavor. It's one of my favorite casseroles, actually. You can also do this with zucchini, which I have done, and I like the zucchini, but the squash is my favorite. I want to make sure I don't burn my mouth off. You guys, it's so good. So give it a try. Let me know down in the comments if you make it and what you think about it. I appreciate it if you'd hit that like button for me, because it really does help people that have just been diagnosed to find my channel. If you like the recipes that you see here, I'd love it if you would consider subscribing and hit that little notification bell, and you'll never miss another recipe that I have. I almost forgot, it's Motivation Monday. Today's motivational quote is, your weight has nothing to do with your worth. Your weight is a measure of your gravity to this planet. It has nothing to do with how much you're loved or how much love you have to give. So until next time, stay safe, stay well, stay happy, and be blessed. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.